Hey, what's up? This video is pretty much I should have done way in the beginning when I decided to do the whole motorcycle mentality thing series, and yes, I am still going to continue it, but I started realizing like, man, I should have started off with this before I started talking about the financial slash budgeting process. And the most important aspect of this whole ordeal is the actual mentality of the writer. Pretty much what your view or what your input is, how you see things, how you think things. Are you observant? Things of that nature. And here's why. You see, I'm starting to see a lot of videos where people are asking, is it okay if I start on a leader bike, or should I start on the beginner bikes like the 250s, the 300s, blah, 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 this and that. Now, I sort of touched on it a little bit back in one of my older videos. I forgot which one it is, but you'll see it at my end credit thing. It's going to be the something about appreciation. Pretty much where I made a video where I was being thankful to all the motorcyclists that pretty much sort of motivated me into the entering this hobby that I'm currently enjoying. But again, it's really based on the mentality of who the writer is. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, no, you can't start on a leader bike, or no, you should start on the 600, or no, you should start on the 250s or the 300s. I'm not going to sit here and tell you any of that. That's based on your aspect and your view. You are you. I'm not you. I don't know how big you are. I don't know how skinny you are, or how fat you are, or how muscular you are. I don't even know if you're a man or a woman. And at the end of the day, I don't know what your day-to-day life is like. I don't know what your finances is. I don't know who you are mentality speaking. I don't know how your mental process is, how overall I'm not you. So yeah, I understand when you're looking around for a motorcycle, you try and get advice from people that already been there, done that, to see their opinion. And believe me, it's really cool when you ask somebody, they feel good. They're like, wow, they value my opinion. That's cool. But the bottom line is, they are not you. They don't know what your story is. So I'm going to pretty much start off with the most important aspect of motorcycle mentality, and that's the mentality. And here's what I mean. Now, we've all seen it. There's people talking about, there's two classes of bikers. Bikers who went down, or bikers who fell down, or something like that. It's pretty much in the aspect of people who dropped their bikes and people who have not dropped their bikes. Me, so far, I haven't dropped my bike. And am I saying guaranteed that's going to be like that in the future? I don't know. I'm not psychic. But as of currently right now, I'm glad to say I have not dropped my bike. I have not been in a car accident. What I did was I went to the DMV and I picked up their booklet. It was free. It was cool. Picked up their motorcycle booklet and I read through the whole thing non-stop. I probably read through it I didn't read it back to back, all the way. I mean, I did read it from beginning all the way to the end. But what I mean is, I didn't be like, okay, as soon as I was done reading the book, I automatically started over and read it from the beginning. No, I read it. I want to say at least 2 or 3 times, and I always mentally test myself. I didn't really pay attention to the little quiz box that was in the booklet. I mentally tested myself. So, when it came to getting my motorcycle permit, I knew I was ready, but one of my drawbacks is I have the tendency to overthink things. Like when it was time for me to take my test, my brain went blank. So everything started becoming instinctual. I mean, you probably have that happen to you. I mean, you'll know the answers, but when you look at the question, you're like, wait a minute. So I aced it, no problem. There were 1 or 2 questions that I overthought it, but then I had to cut that crap out, and I was like, you know what, just go with the answer that you feel more comfortable with, and it turns out to be correct answers. Like I said, I aced it. And of course, I already went through about the whole process about things like that. Now, here's the thing about me, though. Me, I'm a confident person, but I'm not a egotistical person. You know what I mean? It's like I don't. What's the best way to put it? When I went to my motorcycle class to get my motorcycle endorsement and everything, and where they taught us how to ride a motorcycle, they even actually had a class, and I'm very, very appreciative of the advisors and our teachers, professors, whatever you want to label them. I'm happy the way they taught us. Like, they didn't just teach you things like, here's the picture, here's the video, blah, blah, blah. No, they did that, but they had you participate in exercises. They had you reenact things. They explained things thoroughly, not only verbally, but also through action. Like, those two dudes, they made sure that, they understand, yeah, you're a novice. Yeah, you're entering the world of motorcycling. And they want you to be confident and, very trustworthy of your skill. Your skill level is pretty much flat zero. But they want you to build that confidence where you can just be like, you know what? Yeah. I'm not going to lie, the first day of class, it was like, wow, like, whoa. But everything fell into place. You understand what they were talking about. So when the next day of class, everything, it was like smooth sailing. Then we went and did our, for me, before you actually go take your motorcycle test to get that endorsement, to get that license, you had to pass the class first. And like I said, those two guys, they were awesome. That I aced that joint. And then, once you pass your class, when you pass it, then you're allowed to take that motorcycle test. If you fail, then I don't know what happened afterward. I didn't fail, so I can't really, say much. But after passing it, they take you, they do a little quick brush up. Then they ask you, are you ready for the motorcycle? The guy goes individually. And I was confident. I said, yes, I better be ready because you guys taught me, and if I failed, you failed. That's the way I looked at it. So he was like, yeah, you're ready. So, yeah, I aced that, but I was confident, but at the same time, like I said, I'm not egotistical. See, here's a lot of people don't really understand. When you're asking somebody, hey, should I start on a leader bike? Or, hey, should I start on this bike or whatever? I'm interested in this cruiser. I'm interested in these ADV bike. I'm into the dirt bike scene. Where should I start out at? What would be the good beginner bike level for me? Any bike is a good beginner level for you, especially with bikes nowadays that have like a lot of ADVs, different modes like mode A, B, C's, different electronic criteria where you don't have to have the motorcycle on full blast. It can be a bit forgiving when you have it on a more lesser mode where it has a lot of traction control, a lot of where it won't let you exceed a certain point in terms of power. So the way I look at it is any bike is a good beginner bike. You want to know why? Because that bike, you have to learn how that bike functions versus the bikes that you practiced and been on before. Alright, for you veteran riders, be honest. The moment you buy a new bike or you purchase a different bike, you have to learn how that bike is, right? You have to learn how its power band is, how much torque it is, how its personality, sort of speaking, where you can adjust to sort of, have it fit, like putting your on a shoe. You want to make sure it's a good fit, where you and the bike pretty much come into one. That's every bike. Doesn't matter if you're new or a veteran. Now, here's what I will say. Like I said, yes, there are dangers in riding motorcycle. I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not, like I said, I'm not overconfident. I mean, or, like on a high horse, have a big ego. Because the thing is, the truth be told is, anything can happen. Anything. And here's why. It doesn't matter if you're on a motorcycle, on a trike, or even in a car. Any motorized vehicle. I don't care if it's a boat, plane, helicopter, whatever. Anything that, we have the ability to drive, fly, or whatever, have control of. There's that one flaw. And that flaw is us. Human. People. We are the flaw in that vehicle. The vehicle could be like top-notch, perfect. But the person behind the wheel, or behind the stick, behind the handlebars, behind whatever, our judgment call, our mentality of how we observe things, or sometimes being overconfident, trying to fill in our ego, that's our flaw. That's where accidents happen. Yeah, if you got a bike and you want to be a hooligan, be a hooligan. But you have to understand what bike you're being a hooligan on. If you're looking at a leader bike and your thought is, yeah, I get this bike and all the girls will be coming. Newsflash, more dudes going to be checking out your bike than chicks. Yeah, there are girls going to notice the bike and some of them will approach it, and it can be a good conversational starter, when you approach a girl. But more dudes is going to come checking out your bike than chicks. That's the reality of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is cool when a girl actually comes up and she's like, "Ooh, can I rev it?" Or, "Oh, what's it like?" Asking all this question. It is really cool. Believe me, it's good. But overall, that's the wrong way of looking at it. If you're looking at a bike, and notice I'm just saying bike because I don't care what class it is. If you're looking at a bike and you're like, I want to go fast. How is this going to make me go fast? Guess what? Every bike, every motorized vehicle is faster than you. You don't believe me? Have somebody get on a bike. You stand on a starting line and both of y'all race. You race on your feet, he race on the bike. Who you think going to win? Every motorized vehicle is faster than you on your own. So get that out in your mind first, because yeah, if you're thinking about going fast in terms of trying to go to the track, take their classes, let them teach you the ways of actually helping you grow to have more of a strategy in terms of speed and like when to go fast and when to back off a little bit on the speed when you're doing turns and everything. There are classes for that. I'm not joking. If you want to go to the track, definitely do that. It could make you a better rider in terms of the track. But out on the streets, there's a lot of dangers that happen. And it, not just for us motorists, it's also for people that drive cars. If you notice in one of my past videos how I view people, I view everybody as assholes. Because, like I said, we are our own flaw. And people will cut you off. You're on a motorcycle, you're more at a higher risk of suffering bodily injuries than you are in a car. That's a known fact. Everybody should not be surprised by that. It's based on how you are aware of your surroundings. Same thing in a car. If you ever notice on the windshield of the car and then where the door meet, there's that little blockade where you don't see what's behind there. But in your mind, because the way you look at things, you mentally don't see it. But a person can be walking in that blind spot view. Same thing like in the motorcycle. When we're riding, we don't have eyes on the back of our head. So for a split, we had to be quick when we're checking over our shoulder. We can't just be like, because eventually somebody's going to be in front of us. So it all depends on who you are mentality-wise. Mentality speaking. Mentally, pretty much. Because, yeah, if you're looking at a bike where you're like, oh, I want to be a stunt person like Tony Carberall, definitely do that. But you got to remember, Tony started doing that for years. He's a veteran, and he knows what bike he can work best with, and what tune-ups or mods he can do to help him perform those stunts, and be part of those stunt shows. That's a perfect example. It takes experience. It's like a learning lesson. Yeah, he probably took a class, probably did it himself. It's all about how your perception is. Now, if you're trying to get a bike just to make yourself look cool, so you can feel like a badass, like stroking your ego, so to speak. All right, I'm not gonna lie. That's everybody, but it depends on who your personality is. What's it like? If you're an asshole to people, or if you're a type of person that like to talk shit or talk down on people, you're still gonna be that same person, only you have a motorcycle. Yeah, who knew? So if people didn't like you when you didn't have a motorcycle, they're still not gonna like you once you open your mouth when you do have a motorcycle, based on who you are as a person and who you are mentally. Like I said, there's a lot of different factors, a lot of dangers that people don't really think about. And, my family members, they're happy that I, achieved one of my dreams, one of my goals, to have a motorcycle and learn how to ride it. But at the same time, they are now more a little, nervous when they know I'm out there riding. Because, yeah, they're confident in me. They know I'm fine. But it's the other people, the flaws, that could pretty much handicap me, incapacitate me, anything, crash into me, or poor judgment call or whatever. Anything can happen, but that's the same thing with driving a car. So yeah, all about who you are mentally. You have to be seriously checking yourself before you put yourself on the bike. Don't worry about what type of bike to start on. Worry about who you are as a person to find out how you can control your excitement. Yeah, it's good to be excited, but control that ego. Like I said, I'm a confident person. I am. I'm just not an egotistical person. I can be slick. I can be suave. But at the same time, I recognize reality and I take in everything. So, yeah. There's going to be more on this. But let me just finish off with this one. Alright then. Later.